What's up, Team Beast? It's your boy, the Beastman51, and welcome back to another Sunday Rantday. Yes, I know it's not Sunday, but I'm doing this on Thursday because there's something I need to talk about, and it's gonna drive me crazy if I don't talk about it. So, for those of you that do not know, I'm pretty sure everybody knows about it now, but Aaron Hernandez, the guy who played in the NFL as a tight end for the Patriots and who killed Odin Floyd in 2013 or was convicted of it. Uh, he recently passed away in his jail cell after he hanged himself. And Steve Stevens recently passed away too, so goodbye. But the reason I'm only saying this is because these guys got a lot of media attention, which is what I want to talk about today. I want to talk about the news and the media and all the shit that goes down with them. Because I feel like they only want to talk about what people want to hear. That's why every news station you see or you hear is always the same at every hour that they're on, you know? They hardly ever talk about anything new. They hardly ever give you any other kind of news. They only go with the main stories that they hear and everything like that. It's like Steve Stevens, for example, killed a man while going to collect. He killed a man who was trying to collect cans for money, and he shot him point blank, and he got a lot of media news for that. And yes, I know it's a big deal. I know it's a sad thing to say, but you know what? I honestly don't give a fuck. Because a scumbag like that, who killed an innocent man for no fucking reason whatsoever, should not be getting media attention. And the same with Aaron Hernandez. The guy killed a man in 2013, was convicted of two other murders, and yet just because he was an NFL player and because of something bad he did, he got media attention. And I don't understand what the fuck is going on with that. And another reason I'm only saying this is because if you guys remember my last Sunday rant day I did, I talked about a young girl who was like 12 years old who committed suicide on Facebook Live, and that barely got any media attention. The only place you could really find that was on the internet. They never talked about it in the news. They never talked about it on TV because she wasn't famous. Same with another kid who was 13, I believe. He killed himself on April Fool's Day after his girlfriend pulled a prank on him. And again, I only heard it from the internet. Not once did I hear about it on a news station. Because, you know why? The kid wasn't famous. Now, some of you might argue, well, maybe you don't see it because you don't watch worldwide news, or you don't get it because you're in a different state and it's not in your state, so you can't get that news. It doesn't fucking matter. It's fucking worldwide news. I feel like something that big needs to be talked about, especially with young kids. Young kids are committing suicide, and it drives me crazy to think that a scumbag like Steve Stevens or somebody like Aaron Hernandez, who killed a man and was famous for being a football player, can get all the credit in the world just because of their name. It's like Jose Fernandez when he died. Yeah, I know it was a sad tragedy for him, but the fact of the matter is, he was an MLB player and he was a big name. How many times, often or not, do you hear about a certain shooting or a certain killing or a suicide or something else from other people if it's not a police person, a famous person, or somebody else? Very rarely do you ever hear about a kid or somebody committing suicide. Like, the only real cases I've heard that were that bad was of Trayvon Martin. That was one of the exceptions, and same with I can't remember his name. Eric something. The guy who died in New York from the cops ambushing him. There's that too. But often than not, you don't ever hear much about suicides and other kinds of stuff that happens in the world, because most media news will never talk about it. They always want to talk about Trump, oil, gas. It don't fucking matter. They only want to cover the big stuff that people think like you, the listeners, would want to listen to. They don't ever talk about the key, crucial points like suicide, like all that. Now, I know there might be some people who disagree with me, but you know what? I honestly don't care. I feel everybody should get some kind of attention in the media, no matter what. I don't care if you're white, black, yellow, green. It don't fucking matter to me. I don't even give a shit if you're Oompa Loompas. You all are the same. We're all human. We all have emotions and feelings. And those guys' families, those kids' families, from the kids I mentioned who's committed suicide, their families are probably heartbroken because their young kids had to commit suicide and they got no fucking media attention for it at all, which I find was absolute bullshit. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say that I'm probably rambling on, but you know what? I honestly don't care. I feel this sickens me because media news is absolute shit. It's like CNN, NBC, CBC, it don't fucking matter who it is. CHCH, I don't give a shit who. Most criterias for news is always on repeat every day. And then there are some topics that they talk about for weeks on end and not give it any kind of rest. It's like any kind there's a celebrity death or, something crazy happens, they talk about it for a week straight and never get to nothing new. And when they do get to something new, it's something obvious like, President Trump signed this or oil prices are up and yada yada yada. It's the exact same bullshit that they spew out of their mouths every week. And the fact that not one kid that you've heard about who committed suicide gets talked about because they're not famous or they didn't kill somebody, that kills me inside. That kills me deep inside to know that those kids' families may never get the kind of recognition that they deserve because they're not famous, because they didn't do nothing wrong. They're just simple kids who committed suicide, and people look down on it as it's a bad thing. My thing is, I honestly don't believe anything in news anymore. I literally cannot watch news anymore because it's all the same rubbish every week. And there's always that one thing where they never talk about anything else. Now, yeah, maybe they'll throw in an occasional story every now and again about something else. But unless there's either a bombing, Trump, oil, gas, the stocks, or whatever, you can forget about it being on the news because it's never gonna make it. Because the news and the media don't listen. They don't ever put anything else new in there. Because to them, if it doesn't involve a bomb or a Trump or Syria or a third world country, they don't give a shit. It's like these kids, and there's a bunch of them out there committing suicide, and there's people who die every day, and the media never cares because they can never ever get the news story. Most people, or everyone who dies, I'm not trying to say everyone should get a little piece of news, but I feel if somebody died in that area, like say for instance, if a guy in Oklahoma died, and they have Oklahoma news around, they should be able to get that story and tell it to the Oklahoma people, It doesn't have to be big worldwide news, but I feel with suicide and depression and all that being a big factor nowadays, especially suicide, especially in young kids, With young kids and teens who commit suicide every day, I feel suicide should be on worldwide news because it's definitely something that needs to be talked about more, You can't just have somebody who, goes to a parent or goes to a teacher or something like that. You can't just have that focus on one thing. You have to branch out, You gotta let people from the media know so that way they can talk to people at home about how dangerous depression and suicide is. I feel if these kids actually got some recognition in the news for what they did, I would probably be a little bit more happier to know that they're finally taking a step forward to talk about new topics and not go on with the exact same shit every week. Now, I'm probably going to end the video here, guys, because I need to cool down for a bit, because I'm really fucking mad right now, and I don't understand it at all. You might disagree with me, some of you might agree with what I'm saying, but you know what? I honestly don't care, to be honest. I'm doing this as my own opinion. This is my own opinion on it, and my thoughts and feelings about it, and that's just how I am, And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. If you guys have any other topics that you think should be talked about more and that aren't really talked about much, let me know in the comments below, and I'll definitely do them for another Sunday Rantday video. But until next time, it's your boy the Beastman 51, and I'll see you guys later. Team Beast for life.